Hi, it's Sheila from She's a Sassy Lady, and I've got some work to do here. It is my Gavin's birthday, my 7-year-old Gavin. It's his birthday come the 17th of this month. So I put together a card, and it's just a window card. It's just a window card. And I did it a little bit different, and I don't like the way I did it. And just so you know up front, I don't like the way I did it. Normally, I put everything on here and see how it's cut out just right to fit all the pieces in. Well, then I take and I make a copy of this, paste it down so I have an exact copy of this here, and then I have two welded pieces, but I didn't do it that way this time. So it's kind of a hard one to do because I have to lay it on here, and I did that hard part so that I wouldn't be boring you half to death, and put the rest of the together. So I have it laying on there. I've already got my window in here. Let me show you. I've got a window. See, I've got it. I turned it over and I just cut out a little piece of clear plastic that was a like a sheet protector, and cut that out and put on there. So I've got the window. It's got a little gooey's on it from sitting on my table here, because I get glue on everything. Anyway, that's ready to go. So now we just have to put the rest of the card together, and it doesn't take long. And you know, it's amazing how much, especially your grandchildren, enjoy the cards that you send them. They just love them. You know, they just think they're so cool. And that's great. Now, I, as always, have the picture. My screen is right there in front of me. And so I have the picture so I know where all the different pieces are and where they go. So, I mean, you can tell just by looking at this, but I want to see what lays on what first, and the cake goes down first. So, and I love the fact that you can use your Explore and you can use these little items. Can you imagine putting all these little things together? Well, I didn't have to because all I did was flatten it and it printed it, and then I cut out the whole piece. And it sure makes making cards a lot easier. Scrapbooking is easier. Everything is easier because of that. So we've got the little birthday cake right here. And it sets a little bit on the birthday and on the 7. See? Isn't that just too cute? And then we have the little hat, and we'll put the hat on. Now I'm making everything flat on this because this is one that's going in the mail, and a 5x5 will go in a regular charge, but if you start putting stuff on it, it's not going to, and if you make it real fat, it's not going to. Oops, I moved this. Let me get it back on here again. So I want to get it in there. Oh, and I had something exciting happen this past week. One of my followers, Patsy Gamble, sent me, and I've got it out. That's my next project. I've been searching and looking. I've got it out. I've got the new fuse tool. Look at that. Isn't that exciting? I've got the new fuse tool, and that's the next project. But I've got to work on some pieces. And I was going to turn it on and start working on this right away. And you know what I found out? I don't have another plug under here. So I'm going to take and do it on downstairs and then bring it up, fuse it together. And my next card is a shaker card. So it's my cousin's birthday. And she's, as with most of my cousins, I have to say, I think cousins are the most special thing because you grow up with them and you know each other's likes and dislikes and you accept each other for the way you are. I mean, you're family. And at any rate, she has a favorite thing. On her farm, she has a farm. She has a small alpaca farm, would you believe? And she has this one llama, which is her favorite. And his name is Arthur. And we tease her all the time because if she gets something new, she takes it out and she shows it to Arthur out in his little barn. And we tease her because Arthur gets more attention than most, you know. So anyway, okay, so you can see I've got everything on that. Now all I have to do, while that's drying, I'm going to put the inside together. I wanted a little bit of a lining on the inside, so the inside would have some cool colors too, and I'll write my Gavin a note. And Gavin is the one that last year he had a card, you know, we had a card party for the two boys, Gavin and Justin. And Gavin just thought this was the nuts. He liked it a lot. And it's funny, after the card party, or even before the card party, they'd always stop and read what Grandma's card was. So I think that's kind of special, you know. And so I always try to make, although my poor little Aiden, it was hers, not Aiden, Carissa's birthday. My sassy sissy. And her birthday came up, and it came up so fast from us getting home from our trip. Although I made the card, it wasn't up to my usual standards. But with Carissa, as long as they had the money in it, that's all she cared about anyway, so. Isn't it funny how each one of the children are a little bit different? And I thought that gave it a little bit of color on the inside of the card. And I can write a nice little note in there. See? And you can do this two ways. You can pop up and lift it up a little bit, which gives a little shaded area. But unfortunately, although it gives a little shaded area, you've got some sticking up, you know, with your pop-up. And I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to glue it on. And I'm going to use the edge around here because I am not, and I'm going to repeat that, I am not good at getting things on perfect when I need a perfect edge. But if I glue, it works a lot better. So I'm going to glue. And it'll work a lot better. And then that way it won't look crooked, you know. Because if I use my HEG gun, I can't lift it up that easy when it's this size or this bulky. And I don't want to goof it up because I worked too hard to get the design done. Although I tell you, it was harder work with the Gypsy to do a design than this design studio is absolutely the best. Okay. I'm going to set it down. My little feet are straight. My happy birthday is straight. And you have to have this top piece because otherwise it's not going to work out exactly right. It's not going to be because you used a little bit of the edge. See how I have here? Let me turn. It's hard to see because I've got here. See, now you can see the difference right there because you fold it over and then weld it together, and it would look funny unless you do something. So now we've got it matching up, and we've got ourselves an adorable little window card. And what I like about it is it's got some weight to it. It sits up perfect. And I always look at a card. If a card isn't going to stand up on its own, then I'm going to make a different card. I'm not going to give it out to that person. The reason being is people, they get cards, and if you're anything like I am, and most of the people I see when you go into their house, and if it's their birthday or if they're sick or whatever, they have someplace in their house, they have all their cards displayed. I was really surprised because my aunt Joyce, she got sick, and I sent her a get well card. Well, then I came over 3 months later, and do you know that card was still out and on display? And then I felt guilty because I should have sent her more cards. Anyway, that's what the happy birthday card looks like. And isn't that adorable? Perfect for a little boy. I didn't use anything girly about it whatsoever. He loves cake. He's 7 years old. And he's got all these goodies on there, and he loves hats. He'll wonder what this is. That's okay. Mommy will tell him. You have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me today at She's a Sassy Lady. Bye now.